Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the webinar. I am so excited about this. It feels like a culmination of my life's work of 15 years of wedding planning and how to maximize a wedding budget, right? Like how to make the most of whatever your budget is. If it's a 50K wedding, maximize it, stretch it, make it look and feel amazing, right? No matter what your budget is. Well, that's exactly what we're going to be getting into today. And I'm even more excited because it's not going to take us too long. We're going to get right to the point, and I'm so excited that you're here. Now, if somehow you're here and you're like, who's this person talking to me? I don't know who this is. No worries. I'm just going to go ahead and share. My name's Faye Shola. I'm the owner of Statuesque Events, which is a luxury wedding and event planning company. Like I said earlier, we've been in business for over 15 years. We love what we do. We've planned amazing events anywhere between like 20 or $30,000 all the way to multi six figures, over $500,000 weddings, events, conferences, and more. And we love what we do, but my passion, my true passion is helping everyone, helping to make wedding planning more accessible for everyone, right? As of right now, only 25 or so percent of couples every year use a wedding planner, largely because of the cost. It's not accessible for everyone, right? And I believe in what we do. I know how we save people time, 10, 15 hours every single week by just organizing things and doing a lot of the heavy lifting for you. And I want to make that accessible for everyone. And so we have through our sister company, Wedded Details. It's a whole team, a whole army of women behind you, planning, producing, organizing, helping you to find vendors and all of that for your event for much less than a traditional wedding planner. Most traditional wedding planners are going to be charging anywhere from six to $10,000 or more for full service wedding planning. And we are charging you $28.99, right? So we are making it affordable, accessible for you. And we're really excited. By the way, if you're like, oh, $28.99 still sounds high, you can also go with our $8.99 package where we plan, produce your whole event. And we also will train a family member or a friend to be your day of coordinator for free, included in that, right? Like we'll prepare them on what to do. We give them everything to run with for your wedding as well. Either way, you win, and you are literally getting the expertise of a team of planners with over a decade of experience by your side, making sure that you have the most amazing event and that you maximize your budget. So, I don't know about you, but I'm excited about it. You should be excited about it, and we can't wait to go forward. That said, let's get into the topic for today. We're going to talk about how to plan a $50,000 wedding that looks and feels like a 100K wedding. No matter what your budget is, this is a workshop that's going to help you to maximize your budget and have an amazing experience. And the first thing I want to talk to is just your beliefs, just your beliefs. I want you to believe that yes, your budget may not be 100K, right? And yes, you may be seeing a lot of things on Pinterest that people are telling you are out of your budget range, but that doesn't mean that your wedding can't be amazing, that it can't look and feel amazing and luxurious. I can't tell you how many weddings we've planned for people who are on a tight budget. For instance, I've planned a wedding for two cousins of mine who are siblings, and the second cousin had a much smaller budget than the first cousin and also had a bigger guest count, which made it more challenging. But when we got to that wedding, everyone was like, wow, this is phenomenal, right? Even the couple from the first wedding was like, wow, I think this was even bigger than ours. And I was like, no, no, your wedding was definitely more elaborate, but it didn't. But the point is that it didn't feel like the event was sacrificed, even though the budget was tighter, right? And that's our goal for every client is for you to never feel like your budget, your whole wedding is a sacrifice because your budget is tighter, whether it's 50K, 20K, whatever it is. And so we're going to talk about how to do that. Now that we've gotten past belief, I want to share something with you. And it's just a rough little spreadsheet. This is a spreadsheet of two real wedding budgets, right? Real wedding budgets. You can see that one of them, the 100K budget, it's really more like 105K. And then there's a 50K budget, and you can compare the two. And there's a $55,000 difference between these two budgets. I want to share that a huge part of the savings here has come from the choice in venue, basically the highlighted parts, right? The choice in venue has saved them about $13,000. The wedding planner saved them another $12,000. The floral design, another $12,000, and lighting, another $7,000. The bulk of these savings have come from that, right? I highlighted the bar package. but you can see also those huge savings with the venue as well. But that's where most of it comes from. The reason I wanted to highlight this before we go further is because a lot of you guys are trying to nickel and dime. You think it's going to be like a 45-step process of how to save 100 here, 100 here, 100 here. That's not how it works. You have to be strategic about how you approach your entire wedding and the decisions that you make. And that's what we help you to do here at Wedded Details. I'm going to come back to this in a bit, but I just wanted to show you that most of the levers that we're pulling are right here. It's just a few levers right here, right, to help you. And so with that, I want to talk really briefly before we go back to the spreadsheet. I want to talk about some common mistakes, right? One of the biggest mistakes that I see, particularly when people are on a tight budget, you're planning your own wedding, is thinking that having a luxury wedding is all about one thing. And most people thinking that it's all about the venue choice. And so because of that, a lot of people you're spending 80% of your total wedding budget on a venue. You should never do that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Because at the end of the day, you are not trying to advertise the venue. You don't want people to leave your wedding and be like, that was a nice venue. No, you want people to leave your wedding and be like, oh my gosh, that was such a beautiful experience. And it feels very much so like this feels like a Melissa wedding. This feels like a Dave wedding. You want people to feel you in the wedding. Not just, oh, it was a nice venue. There wasn't much else, but the venue was nice, right? That's not what you want people to feel. And so you don't ever want to overpay for one thing. And the one thing that most people overpay for is the venue. Granted, you shouldn't overpay for anything, but understand that everything is what's making your wedding, every single piece of it, every single vendor, it's a collaboration. I've always hated when vendors make it seem like what their thing is the thing that sets off the whole wedding. There's no one thing that sets off a wedding. It is the collaboration of everything. And I can tell you, as a wedding planner, our job, right, is to curate an entire experience and pull everything together. And I can tell you, it's not about one thing. It's always about the combination of things. So you want to make sure you're budgeting adequately for all. Second thing is you can't nickel and dime your way to major savings. Haggling the photographer for $300 off, telling your makeup artist that you need a $100 discount, and like all of that, A, is not the best way to get the best out of your vendors, but it also is not going to lead to you saving 50 grand on your budget. It just isn't. They're like, you're gonna book maybe 10 to 12 vendors, and if you save 200 on each of them, you save 2,400. Great. That's not the same as 50 grand, right? So your strategy is more important than understanding budget, what vendors to really look out for and what to ask for and exactly how to save the money is way more valuable than trying to haggle your way to little discounts here and there. And the last thing is the idea of trying to do it on your own. And I get it. Like I said earlier, most people do not hire wedding planners because most wedding planner services are out of reach for your budget, right? The average cost of a wedding is 30 grand in the US, but the average wedding planner's full planning package is like eight to $10,000. So there's a disconnect there, right? Most wedding planners are shooting for like the top 20% of their market, 15% of their market. And that's okay. But and I mean, and our services, our cheapest service outside of wedding details has been like $15,000, right? I understand, and I understand why the rate is that high. However, we have gotten to a place where we have and re-engineered our entire wedding planning process, which still covers everything. It still covers everything, still covers the budgeting, vendor search, final details, emails to vendors, managing your wedding, but it still covers everything. But we've re-engineered it in a way to make it more affordable so that anybody can afford it no matter your budget range. And so at this point, there's no excuse not to get support, right, to help you. And here's the other thing. When you look at any message board, if you look at Reddit, you look at Facebook groups, there are always those messages from brides who are like, oh, I just got married last month. And these are five things that if that I would have done differently. These are five things that future brides should do better. While I appreciate the heart behind it and the sentiment and them wanting to share, oh, these are all the things that went wrong in my wedding, and this is how I want you to avoid it moving forward. I'm gonna be honest with you, that same person who's making that post read at least five or six other people's posts of the same content, telling them, oh, this is what went wrong on my wedding and how, you should avoid it. And then that same person would probably read it, liked it, maybe even like DM them had a conversation with them on Facebook, on Reddit, and swapped ideas and still ran into the same issues on their wedding day and still realizes that there were things that should have been done ahead of time to avoid it. And you want to know why? Because none of these people are professionals and they don't actually know how to fix the problem. They know what the problem was. They know maybe that they should have addressed it earlier, but you don't actually know the solution if you're not a professional. And that's why we're so excited to bring this professional foresight to wedding planning, and to couples of all, of all budgets and all that across the US and North America now with wedding details. All right. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, the goal is to plan a wedding that looks and feels like 100,000, not just the decor. Decor is big, and the way it looks, but there's also how it feels. So here are some things that make a wedding look like a high-end wedding, right? And you probably would say the same. If I was to ask you, maybe you could pause this video and write three things when you think of the best wedding or event you ever attended. What made it so great? Decor might be one, but here are some other things. Number two, it started on time. Nobody ever says a wedding is amazing if you get there and it doesn't start for another hour. And you're just sitting there for an hour. And you like rushed, you fought traffic, and you got there and you're just sitting there. Ruins the whole experience, right? The other thing is clear communication before the wedding. Like you knew when it started, you knew what to expect, you knew what to bring, you knew what the colors were. Like it was, and that information wasn't just changing. And not only clear communication, but not over communicating, right? Not an event where you're getting a text message every 5 minutes, but you just get one message that you can reference that has everything you need, right? Like that clarity makes it feel luxurious. It's like, oh wow, you really have it together. That person who's messaging you twice a day, it doesn't seem like they got it together. They're frantic and they just keep talking versus like having it all together and giving you one, here's your guide to run with, right? The other thing is you probably have plenty of time to dance. Whatever event you're thinking of, you had plenty of time to dance. You remember taking selfies, you had time in the photo booth wasn't closed by the time you got there. Like you really got to experience everything that the event had to offer, right? So timing is a huge part of it. And then the last part is that the food came out quickly. You weren't waiting forever for your food. Everybody remembers that restaurant or that event you go to where the food is just taking forever, but the food came out relatively quickly. All of these things are addressed ahead of time in planning and organization, and these are things that we focus on to make sure that your event goes smoothly, right? It's more than this, but those are just some key points that make it feel luxurious, right? So again, I'm going to bring up the chart one last time and we're going to go through it with a little bit more detail. Now that you know that there are a few levers. Now, with your venue, you definitely want to pick a venue that allows you to bring your own liquor versus forcing you to pay for their bar package. A typical venue's bar package is going to be anywhere from 30,000, $30, $40, $50 per person, right? And so for around 200, sorry, around 120 guests, you're easily spending a lot of money. And by the way, these two budgets are assuming a guest count of 100 to 120 guests, which is the average in the US. Obviously, if you're having way more than this, the numbers start to change, but this is something to keep in mind, right? If you're having 120 guests, there's no reason you cannot get liquor from a liquor store, Total Wines, Costco, anything like that, for less than $1,000. $1,000 is even a little high, to be honest. I'm just gonna be transparent. $1,000 is like giving you a lot of free range to pick the different things that you want, the beers, the liquor, and all of that. And you're saving a lot versus just paying for a bar package. The other thing is a wedding planner. So most people who are planning a wedding for about 100K, you're spending $15,000 to $20,000 on a wedding planner. But with Wedded Details, our services are $28.99. And like I said before, you can also pay $8.99 if you want just the virtual, and we'll train someone to be from your family or friends to be your coordinator. That's fine too. But you can see that that's huge savings, but you're still getting the guidance throughout. You're having wedding planning calls, you have email support, we're reviewing your contract. Like there's all that support throughout to make sure that you are on track. Then floral design, we recommend using Poppy Flowers, which is our partner. They are also nationwide in the same way that we're nationwide. Their starting minimum is about a little just over $3,000, but we're giving you up to 8,000, right? To give you room to really come up with some cool ideas for your floral design, right? There are many reasons that they're able to beat most people's floral um, quotes. They source huge amounts from their florists. They get preferred pricing that they pass down to their clients. There's just a lot about the way that they are organized that allows them to save money. So you're still getting fresh florals delivered and set up at your venue, but for significantly less when you use Poppy Flowers. They're one of our partners, and the link is listed below where you can save $100. So Go ahead, use that link, save $100 on already low prices, and you also can get an instant quote. The same way you can get an instant quote with Wedded Details. If you click one of the links below this video about Wedded Details, you literally can see our packages, and you can get an instant quote for with without a coordinator, all of that for each of our packages right there. Same thing with floral design. Then also with lighting, we also have a lighting partner who is also nationwide. We've used them many times. They do a great job and they make lighting very easy. You have uplights, you can have like pin spots for your cake, you can have monograms like with your initials that you can put on the dance floor or on a wall. All those cool things that a lot of people don't even think about with their wedding. They don't even think they can afford is now affordable no matter where you live, right? And you can get access to all of these things at the link. It's right below. If you're watching, on the web page, it's right below this. If you're on YouTube, click the link that's in the description. It'll take you to the page where you can link to all of these things. And we're really, really, really excited. The last thing that I wanted to share is, there are a few other savings here and there, but for the most part, over 40 grand of the savings is between your venue choice, choosing a venue that is affordable and lets you bring your own liquor package, the saving on wedding planning, saving on florals, leaving on literally you're going to be able to get the most for significantly less. And especially in this day and age, the day of information, day of AI, day of automation, day of all these things, giving you all of these benefits, right? So that you're saving without sacrificing much for your wedding. So I hope that this is helpful for you. One last thing I did want to share. These are our packages. Obviously, we're live now, but this is the page. You can see our full planning, which is our most popular, which I talked about. You pay $8.99 or you pay $28.99 with a coordinator. You pay the coordinator later. So either way, you're only paying $8.99 down. But we have multiple in every city for you to choose from. And you get to choose whoever works for you and all that. So that's great. So we have that. If you've already booked every single one of your vendors, then the final details package is right for you. And then we will organize your final details. Make sure your timeline is smooth, like everything, find all those issues that usually manifest on the day of, finding them in advance and organizing for that and preparing your family, your vendors, and your wedding party to show up on point. That's pretty much what our final details does. And then we can pair you with a day of coordinator of your choice. So we have that option. If you need help booking any of your vendors or all of your vendors, or even if you don't have a venue, that's fine. Full planning is perfect for you, and we help you with that. And then also, 2 days is for like our Indian clients, our Nigerian clients, our West African clients, Ethiopian clients who are planning 2-day events, right? And it's like literally two full events, not like just a welcome party or a rehearsal dinner, but like a full-on event. We also have a package here where we can help you as well. So we have all those options. You can also book with Poppy and book with our lighting partner as well, all on this page. All right. So with that, we want to invite you to become one of our clients to work with us. We're so excited. We're so excited that you're going to be working with us. So excited to produce your wedding. When you get to the website, there is also going to be a chat box in the bottom right. You can chat with our team. Ask questions. If you have a question about what package is right for you or what to do next, ask the chat box. The chat box will answer you. We have Connie in there who can give you instant answers to your questions. And every now and then, some of our team will be in live answering questions as well. So ask the questions there. We'll answer you. If needed, we'll follow up with an email, but we'll give you instant answers because we want us to get started, right? There's no uh, benefit to waiting forever to book. The faster you book, the faster we start helping you. It's really that simple. And so we want to get in and start working on your weddings. All right. So I hope these resources are helpful for you. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat box on the website and we can go from there. But here's to an amazing wedding. And here's to you being a Wedded Details client very soon. All right. Cheers. Bye.